Thank you so much for staying with us. Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, political analyst, is going to be taking us through this conversation. So, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning to the House.
All right. I mean, what sounds like a plea for help, or someone would say irked in desperation. This morning, front page newspaper said, "I am at the gate. It is padlocked inside out." What's going on in Edo State? Perhaps you may help us shed a bit of a light on this. I know that it's been ongoing for over 3 weeks or more, and it's getting messier.
Actually, it's been ongoing for more than a month. When sometime in July, the deputy governor raised the bar by going to court to ask for first an interim injunction, an interlocutory injunction, to prevent the Edo State House of Assembly and the governor and the chief judge of the state from impeaching him. And many of us, including myself, felt that was a preemptive move that lacked any form of legal precedence, because of the fact that courts don't adjudicate on assumptions, presumptions, and suspicions. Unfortunately, the thing that we thought was just a little storm in a teacup has snowballed into an unending melodrama, a badly scripted soap opera between Mr. Governor and his once very bodysome deputy. You see, I feel a little sorry for my state. I don't feel sorry for any of the two protagonists, Mr. Governor and his deputy. I feel sorry for my state because we don't deserve, in this twilight of Mr. Obaseki's administration, because in exactly a month, in a year and a month, they will have to leave office. And both of them, once upon a time, were more like examples in how co-governance should be. And it's a pity, a very bad one, that both of them have turned their once very romantic engagement with one another into something that has become more like a political sore for the Edo people. We are a very proud people. I'm happy that to show, you should have been listening in the last 1 hour to Sylvester speaking on this program. He's an Edo man. He's my very close friend. And it shows the kind of persons that this state produces. So it's a pity to find what is going down. What is even more worrisome for me is the plethora of seemingly propaganda issues that have been coming to the fore. Let me just be direct here. It appears that Mr. Deputy Governor is taking on the entire thing of propaganda to stratospheric levels. And it also appears that Mr. Governor, talking about the deputy now, but now Mr. Governor has not shown enough magnanimity, because I want to be very clear. To many intents and purposes, many may describe Philip's behavior at the beginning of this as that of a prodigal son, because the governor had made his deputy maybe the most visible deputy in the annals of our political history, particularly since 1999. I'm sure both of you seated there might not know the deputy governors of other states. You may not even know the deputy governor of your state. But the deputy governor of Edo State in the last 7 years has been maybe the most visible, most engaged, most whatever. However, the young man, I think on paper he's about a year or so younger than I am, the young man had publicly apologized. I will not publicly apologize for anything if I believe I'm in the right, except I want some level of rectitude. And he has apologized. And the apology has gone all over the place. We are also aware that the Edo State government had built or retrofitted a new office for him. And we are all aware in a letter that was sent out by the head of service, and that was about a week plus ago, if not more than that, which was written to his permanent secretary in his office to relocate the workers. From what he had said here now, which I saw, which going with the one who he used to replace Bob Makerele, that is Mr. Femi Pedro, It became a comedy of errors, you know. So that is the thing. But for the two of them, I keep saying, two of them don't fall into those classes, the categories, because theirs was very, I mean, Matawale and his deputy fell out within 3 months. Adams Oshiomhole and his deputy was so bad that it was even Philip Shaibu that was the enforcement officer, the majority leader of the Edo State House of Assembly. In those days, I think he even had a court case that was still pending before he became governor, before he became deputy governor, of assault, you know. And I remember in those days, Mr. Pius Odubu, the deputy governor, would be locked up so that he would not dare step towards the governor's office anytime the governor travels. But Godwin and Phillips were wearing that way at all. The governor will write to the State House of Assembly, and our deputy governor will be acting governor for months on end. So, and that has not happened in Nigeria. Never.
All right.
That is why, I want to, Adora, you just said something that once bitten, maybe thrice shy. I am saying, since everybody has acknowledged that you were beaten, as in not B-E-A-T, but B-I-T-T-E-N, beaten, don't make it now look like payback time. It actually diminishes your role as a leader. A leader in my place, we say a leader is an otiku. Otiku is a trash bin, a dustbin. You take everybody's on and you're able to aggregate everything together. I'm saying, my name is Pedro Obaseki. You have to understand the enormity of what I'm saying. And I'm saying that Godwin Obaseki should up the ante and treat everybody like a father and not be a one-man riot demolition.
But you get... Sorry to come in here because of lack of time. I want to get this. I mean, we've heard the governor say, look on factor, it is my turn slogan will not work in Edo State. And that is actually really not the possibility of, tribal succeeding him. But you said that is his constitutional right to run if it so desires to do so. But going forward, with all of this imbroglio and deadlock within their communication, what will be, and I hear you talk about what the governor should do, what should the deputy governor be doing on his own start? The
deputy governor is finished. I don't have to be a Nostradamus. The deputy governor will not succeed Godwin Obaseki. That is almost a fait accompli. And the Emiloko thing that the governor spoke about does not even come in with Philip Shaibu. He doesn't have that political clout. He rode to where he was on the back of Adams Oshiomhole, and he continued that his journey on the back of Godwin Obaseki. He's a beneficiary of the magnanimity of these two men. I'm just being straight as it is. So, Emiloko is my turn. Whose turn?
But the thinking in some quarters is that Philip Shaibu actually helped Obaseki, to get to where he is really during the time of the crisis that he was having with the APC.
Madam, please, Pedro, I'm not speaking as an analyst. I'm speaking as first of all, as an insider, and secondly, as maybe the unofficial DJ of that campaign. Listen. Number one, the figures don't lie. I will start with the figures, then I'll come back to the politics. In that election, Godwin Obaseki had the highest recorded victory of any governorship election in Edo State in terms of numbers. Number two, Edo State has 18 local government areas. We won 13 local government areas and lost 5. In Edo State, there are 6 local government areas. There are 7 local government areas in Edo South. There are 6 local government areas in Edo North, and there are 5 local government areas in Edo Central. In that election, we won all the 7 local government areas in Edo South, where the governor is from. We won all the 5 local government areas in Edo Central, and we won only one of the 6 local government areas in Edo North, which we won by 365 votes. I didn't say 365,000, 365 votes. So we lost in almost all but one of the local government areas in the deputy zone, but that is not the bad side. In that same loss, the single largest loss we lost was by almost 10,000 votes in one local government, and that was in the deputy governor's local government. Not stopping there, in that election, the governor lost his senatorial zone, lost his local government, lost his ward, because unfortunately for him, he has to contend with Oshiomhole, who lives next door. And he barely won his own unit by 16 votes. So in terms of political baggage, the deputy was a political baggage to the governor. That is on the one hand. On the other hand, you just mentioned Matawale. Don't forget Otom. Don't forget Mr. Aminu Tambuwa. They were all in the APC who transited to the PDP to run for their second terms. And as the practice is, the PDP will bring forth the deputy governor. And the Matawale dropped his former deputy governor. Otom dropped his former deputy governor. Tambuwa dropped his former deputy governor, because that was the prescription. But in the case of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki told us to go with our ticket if we don't allow him to take Philip Shaibu. So who helped who here?
Life.
That is just the truth.
Life.
So I want you to know that in terms of the politics, as we so speak now, we have 24 members of the Edo State House of Assembly. All the PDP members in Edo North, where Mr. Deputy Governor is from, lost. So in terms of that, that's what I'm trying to let you understand. That in terms of political value and value to both,
he brought no value.
He brought close to zero value.
All right. So let's before we round off, let's just find out how you think this fence can be mended, really, for the benefit of Edo people, and of course the fact that this may also cost the PDP that state in the next election. If you remember that, if you recall that even during this last election, that almost all the Edo people went for other parties.
Let me be frank with you. We will not, even as a PDP man, we will not allow either of them to make the PDP lose the state. We will not. We are not going to sit down and let both of them ride roughshod over the entire polity.
All right.
That is I'm saying this as a clear cut to all of them, to both of them. In terms of mending, I don't want them to. I don't care if they mend fences.
Okay.
I'm just saying accommodate each other.
All right.
You get my point? I mean, you can have divergent views.
Dr. Obaseki, we have to wed in here because our time is fast spent and we have a global agenda coming. But we will repeat this interview again tomorrow for share that we lost some of the intrigues during the conversation, and we will bring it back to your delight. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break, but first say thank you to Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki for joining us.